Hey guys, it's your boy, Baldface 8020, back again with another great commentary. So, I know none of this is original, but it was like when my brother told me, and he had heard it from somebody else, that originality is the death knell of creativity. And so I don't care about being original. And so anyway, Talk to a girl. I know we've talked about her before. And I mean, which is kind of ridiculous, right? Because there's not much to talk about. But I don't know. Sometimes people kind of like transcend, like have like the fact is she's got cultural relevance. The thing is, like, however ridiculous she is and her meme is, there is cultural relevance there. And I'm assuming you guys have all heard, about the scam. And many people are saying that this is the end of her. I don't necessarily think that's true. But the truth is, I never liked her. There was, now, as I've said before, when I first, I was aware of the meme for a long time before I'd actually seen it. Because I had seen, the video, but just without the sound on. And other than thinking, oh, that girl's hot, that's as far as I go. And then I got the gist of it. I was like, yeah, that sounds stupid. Never had any interest in watching it. And then when I finally did watch it, I was like, no, I wasn't missing anything. It's not funny. It's not interesting. There's nothing about it. The thing is, it was later on, after seeing seeing it the first time, 2 times didn't really do anything for me. It was watching it like the 3rd or 4th time where I finally cracked a smile watching it. And I was like, oh, I can see the appeal now. I don't know why I was on a delayed reaction. No, there's nothing objectively funny about what she said, but there really is, a charisma, kind of a charisma there. But I always disliked her, I mean, at least a little bit, and maybe not strongly. Now, part of it is just because I'm a hater. That's just how I am. But part of it was the first thing she did speaking after the video she released after the thing had gone viral. And where she talked about how there would never be an OnlyFans. She said, when she made a video talking, addressing all these questions. I'm not criticizing her for not having OnlyFans. It's good for her. But then she said, when she said, those asking for my OnlyFans, there is none. There never will be one. I don't do that stuff. I just make funny jokes. I'm all for her not doing the OnlyFans. That's great. But for her to say funny jokes, and it wasn't even that I disliked her. It didn't make me mad or irritate me or anything, but it showed a real level of delusion. She is not funny at all. She had one moment that to me was worth cracking a smile there, it was more amusing than funny. And for me, it didn't even happen. It's only on a delayed reaction. But there is she's got a kind of a delivery of one thing that was admittedly amusing, even if it took me a while to find it amusing. That's a lot different than funny jokes. Hawk Tuah is not a joke. I mean, it kind of is, but it's also not really a joke. You guys want a joke? Here's a joke. Why was the archaeologist depressed? Because his career was in ruins. That's a joke. Just getting up there and saying I'm a huge slut, that's not really a joke. Even if it can be, if there's a comic element to it. But look, it doesn't irritate me that, and it didn't at the time either, that she thinks she's funny when she's not, or that she's a good humorist who has something to contribute when she doesn't. That's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's not her fault. She isn't funny. She isn't funny or interesting. And and there's nothing wrong with her thinking that she's funny when she's not. I think a lot of attractive girls probably think they're funny when they're not, because they're getting so much reinforcement all the time of people saying. Another thing is, you can tell us if you actually watch the whole Hawk Tuah video. She's got a real queen bee energy, which I'm guessing, and I'm seeing from her interactions with Chelsea and her other friends, is clearly the queen bee of the group, which means that, so not only is she have guys, laughing at her because she's hot, like laughing at her, shittiness because she's hot, her like corny, unfunny stuff because she's hot, but she's got girls who, and girls also tend to defer to pretty girls, like, but she's also like beyond that, she's got the queen bee personality in her, like, so she's probably been the queen bee of her group for as long as she did. And when you're like that, people are always thinking you're funny, and she's like, because she's very out. I mean, unless you're like a quiet, reserved type. And there are those types who are still dominant leader types, but she's the outgoing. It's kind of like, if you ever see a situation where, like, you see a boss or CEO who's a very talkative type. They even had a scene like this in The Sopranos, where, Tony's remembering him saying something like that is not funny at all, and all his goons, all laugh like it's like the funniest thing ever because he's the boss. And it's not even like it's a subconscious thing, often. It's not like they're consciously doing it. And it's I think that's probably been Haley's entire life. So she thinks she's funny, and it's not her fault. Of course she would think she's funny. But yeah, I mean, like I said, other than the fact, you know what? It's not fair for me to say that I dislike her now. It's not fair for me to say that I disliked her because I really didn't. I never liked her. That was the thing. It was like, and like me, and this is something I don't like about myself. I do tend to be a hater and kind of root against people who've been successful. It's not like I don't willingly do it. I don't embrace it. I didn't like, but it's not even that, like, it's not even that active a thing. It's just kind of there. And like even now, and this is wrong with me. I'm not happy about this. There is a kind of satisfaction in seeing her downfall, which is and not even, and it's not like I want to see anything bad happen to her. It's just that, I don't know, I guess there's an instinct to want to see people brought down a peg. The thing is, which, now due to her, like, it's one thing if, like, the arrogance and just callousness she's demonstrated. But before she had done any of that, that instinct was still there. And for the millionth time, that's wrong with me, and I'm not proud of it. But that is part of it. However, since this all started, we found out more about her. So, I want to say that she gave me I had a bad feeling about her from the beginning. No, I didn't. I didn't think she was funny or interesting or anything. But to me, she seemed pretty neutral, like a pretty like neutral character. And, not only this scam thing, but honestly, the scam, we'll talk about the scam thing in a minute. I actually could overlook that. And I'll talk about that a little later. It's that the thing that I had somehow missed when she was first being like interviewed, like after the thing went viral. And there was an interview where she was asked, have you thanked the guys who put this, who put this out there and made you famous? And then she says, like, completely seriously, for what? Like it didn't even occur to her to thank them for changing her life. Now, I'm not saying she needs to write them a check. The thing is, like, she was, that's their show, is going to do stuff. If she was like, it's a mutually beneficial thing. Technically speaking, she doesn't owe them anything. So like, that's the way, if that's the way you want to look at it. However, there's no bad blood, or there was no bad blood. There's certainly no reason to be bad blood. They are the ones who did it. They are the ones who publicized it. They are the ones who changed her life for the better, at least for now, and made her a shit ton of money. I think a public thank you would be in order. Not a for what? What did they ever do for me? And not a and then a thank you and a shout out. Like, to me, that's the least she could do. And I'm not even saying she'd have to do anything beyond that, but she does have to do that. And again, she doesn't have to, but the fact that she won't, there's something wrong here. Like, that's really fucked up. And the fact that she doesn't even see anything wrong with it, I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Like, that shows like there's like some real narcissism, entitlement, weirdness issues here. Like, I don't know what, like, how could she not know that? But then it goes worse than that. Apparently she's suing them, like, first, I don't even know why. And my understanding of the law is that when you agree to do these interviews, you have no ownership of it, of anything in it. They own that video. The person making the video, filming the video, they own it, not you. So it's not like she's got a legal leg to stand on. Even if she did, she shouldn't be suing them because she doesn't need the money, and they're the ones who made it for her. But that's like some total psychopath shit. And then I've heard that she's lied about it and about their experience with them and like who's at fault at what, which based on what we've seen so far, I think is true. Seeing her speak, seeing the guys who interviewed her speak, I think that they're telling the truth and she's lying. Obviously, I don't know. It's all speculation. But, character goes, like, when you're evaluating claims of people, character goes a long way. And what we've seen of her character, she does seem like somebody who would lie about this. And what little we know of them, they just seem like guys doing a stupid YouTube channel. So that's really fucked up. As for the scam itself, I agree that well, first of all, what happened to her fans who got taken in is terrible. Even if, they should have known better for being, not to been so stupid. It would be satisfying to say that, she just deliberately did this, took them all for a ride. My guess is, here's what I think happened. I think she's a very greedy person, and she's not very bright. And that people came to her and said, look, we can do this thing. It's going to make you money, and it's going to make your fans money. It's going to be a win-win all around. I think that she was lied to. And I think she's stupid and naive enough that the whole rug pull thing caught her off guard. I don't think she was expecting it. Now, I don't think she cares, and I think that now that's where we get the moral problem is she's not going to try to make it right. She's not going to say that she did anything wrong or irresponsible. And part of that's because she's a narcissist, but part of that is because she's too stupid to know that she did anything wrong or irresponsible. Like she probably still believes everything that they're telling her. Like, oh, look, this kind of stuff happens. It's snipers who did it, and I don't know anything about crypto. I just know some of the verbiage from hearing the CoffeeZilla thing talk about it. So yeah, I mean, it's really bad. Anybody talking about her being in legal trouble, I don't see how she could be, because it's going to be like, because what did she do? She wasn't running it. She just was the face of it and authorized it. It's going to be a huge hit to her reputation. But who was she hanging out with before? Like the Jake Paul crew type stuff. So, we'll see. We'll see if this is really going to be the end for her, because right now it's more publicity. She still has it's not the number one podcast in the country, but a top 5 podcast. She's still got the connections. Like, what she has done is, be an idiot. Like, Jake Paul did the exact same thing, but probably knew what he was doing, and he's still around. So I don't see this as a career-ending scam. I think that this is maybe cements her just what a bottom feeder she is. But realistically, that's all she was ever going to be. She doesn't have any talent. And even for her looks, her looks are, when you actually look at her head on, she's really nothing special. She's got a great vibe. And in that, like, especially in that video where she was all dolled up and you were seeing her mostly from the profile, she has, like, which is very common with, I don't know, very common, but often it happens with models. They'll look really, they'll be beautiful from like a side-on shot. Not me. Definitely not me. But they'll look beautiful from like a side-on or profile shot. And I'm not even saying she was beautiful, because she wasn't. Even I know I was kind of simping for her in that other video, but like that can happen when you've got simp goggles on. After like the effect wore off and you get to see her more, there is kind of like an inbred Southern thing going on there. And it's not that she's blonde, but like the bleach blonde, straightened blonde hair without it, I mean, she's probably is a lot less attractive. And even her body, she doesn't have much of an ass. And, you know, like that's on a body, that's the most important thing. You know, so it goes, are we allowed to talk about this here? Face, tits, ass. It's those, and that's an order of importance. And, yeah, and honestly, then, sometimes, I've watched so much of it, sometimes I feel like Chelsea's more attractive than she is. Chelsea's more my type. They're both corny and lame as fuck, but we're not talking about that here. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that, I mean, there's too much schadenfreude here for me, because, again, I don't think this is a downfall of her. I don't think she's going to be in major legal trouble. I mean, this is maybe a hit to her reputation, but it was only a matter of time before people were, I mean, the more we saw her to realize that this chick sucks. And her peak has already passed anyway, in terms of, like, her being, like, a national celebrity. Like, she's very quickly getting into the stage of famous for being famous. And the podcast, I don't see any reason to believe it's not going to continue to work. People are listening to it. People are listening to it. I mean, there's even that it's a parody, but there's even that Talk to a companion podcast talking about Talk to a. And so, yeah. Do I have anything else to say about that? I don't know. I thought I'd have more to say. Again, sorry about the lack of I'm not sorry about the lack of originality. That's what I do. I am sorry that I didn't have more to say, though. That's all for now. See you in the next.